Hey there. Have you ever been on a support call and someone throws out the term API and you just kind of nod along, wishing you knew what it really meant? Well, you're in exactly the right place. We're going to break down what a REST API is, especially for you, the support pros. And the best part? We're not going to look at a single line of code. I promise. Let's jump in.
So here's our game plan. We're going to cover 4 simple things. First, an easy analogy I call the web's waiter. Then we'll talk about placing the order, followed by the kitchen's reply. And finally, the really cool part, reading the receipt, where you get to see it all for yourself. It's a super simple way to understand how the web works.
All right, let's start with the big idea. By far, the easiest way to get your head around an API is to just imagine you're sitting in a restaurant. You, the customer, need to tell the kitchen what you want. But you don't just wander back there yourself and start cooking, right? Of course not. You need a go-between. Well, that go-between? That's the API. It stands for Application Programming Interface, but honestly, just think of it as a messenger. So in our restaurant, your web browser is the customer. The server, where all the data lives, is the kitchen. And the API? Yep, you got it. The API is your waiter. It keeps your request, runs it to the kitchen, and brings back exactly what you ordered. Simple as that. And this simple model? It's everything. A customer makes a request, the waiter, our API, delivers it, and the kitchen sends back a response. This is how pretty much all modern websites and apps talk to each other. Every time you load a customer's profile, every time you submit a support ticket, this exact little dance is happening behind the scenes. Okay, so we have our waiter. Now let's talk about the different kinds of orders you can actually place. In the tech world, these orders are called requests, and they use something called HTTP methods to tell the waiter exactly what action you want the kitchen to take. Now look, there are a few of these, but for your day-to-day job, you really only need to know 2. First is a GET request. This is you simply getting information. It's like asking the waiter, hey, can I see the menu? You're not changing a thing, just asking for data that's already there. The other one is a POST request. Now with a POST, you're sending new information. Think of this as handing the waiter a filled-out form to create your own custom pizza. You're actually adding something new to the kitchen system. And you literally see this in your work all day, every day. When you load a customer's profile, that's your browser making a GET request. When you view a list of all your open tickets, another GET. But what about when you submit a comment on one of those tickets? That's a POST request. You're sending new information. Same with creating a new user account for a customer. All right, so you've placed your order, the waiter has taken it to the back. Now it's the kitchen's turn to reply. And this is a huge deal. Every single request, whether it works perfectly or fails miserably, gets a response. And that response always comes with a 3-digit number called a status code. It's the kitchen's way of telling you exactly what happened. What's great is that these aren't just random numbers. They're organized into families. Any code in the 200s means success. The order went through perfectly. Codes in the 400s mean there was a client error. That's the kitchen saying, hey, you, the customer, messed up the order. And codes in the 500s, that means server error. That's the kitchen's fault. For support, these 3 groups are basically all that matter. So here it is. If you only remember one thing from this entire explainer, make it this. 400-level errors mean the problem is on the customer side. 500-level errors mean the problem is on our side, on the server. Knowing this one thing will instantly tell you where to start troubleshooting. It's a game changer. Let's run through the greatest hits you'll see. 200 means everything's okay, the feature works. A 400 bad request means the browser sent something weird. A 401 is the server asking, who are you? The user probably needs to log in. The famous 404 just means can't find it. And a 500, that's a kitchen catastrophe. It's our problem, and the user can't do anything to fix it. This is your cheat sheet. Now, here's one that trips up a lot of people. The difference between a 401 and a 403 error. Think of a bouncer at a nightclub. A 401 error is the bouncer stopping you at the door and saying, whoa, who are you? I need to see some ID. You haven't proven your identity. But a 403? That's the bouncer looking at your ID, knowing exactly who you are, and then saying, yeah, you're not on the list. You can't come in. It's a permissions problem, not an identity problem. Okay, enough with the theory. We've talked about the waiter, the order, the replies. Now for the fun part. Let's pull back the curtain and I'll show you how you can actually watch this entire conversation happen right inside your web browser.
And get this, you don't have to download anything. You don't need any special, expensive software. This superpower is already built into Google Chrome, Firefox, Safari, whatever you're using. It's called Developer Tools, and it is your secret window into this entire conversation. Seriously, it's this easy. On any web page, just right-click your mouse and choose Inspect. This panel will pop up. Don't get scared by it. Just find the tab that says Network. Click on that, then just refresh the page, and boom, you'll see a list of every single request that page made.
Okay, let's read one of these receipts together. See these columns here? The request method says GET. We asked for something, and right next to it, the status code says 200. And there it is. That's the whole story. The request worked, and the kitchen gave us a big thumbs up. But what happens when things go wrong? Well, watch this. Let's try to visit a page for a customer that I know doesn't exist. The method is still GET, but look at the status code now. It's a 404. That is the server literally telling us, sorry, I looked everywhere, can't find that thing you asked for. And just like that, you know the issue isn't a bug. The user is just looking for something that isn't there. So, let's wrap it all up. What are the key takeaways? 1. An API is just a messenger, a waiter for the web. 2. GET is for asking for data. POST is for sending new data. 3. Status codes are the kitchen's reply. 200s are good, 400s are the user's fault, 500s are our fault. And number 4, most importantly, you can see all of this for yourself in your browser's Network tab. So there you have it. You're not guessing anymore. You're not flying blind. You can actually read the conversation between the browser and the server. So my question for you is this. Now that you can read the receipt, what's the first problem you're going to go solve?